Hey, Coach John here, and what I'm going to cover with you this week is your 30-day challenge. And, here we are a little bit over halfway through the actual 30 days. And I'm going to talk with you about how to stay committed through the journey because, we've made it this far. We got to finish through at least the 30 days. So, first thing I want you to ask yourself is how challenging has it been? What has a few things I want to point out. First of all, describe your experience in a few words to yourself, right? Think about what this journey has been to you and how challenging it has been. A lot of people will say, "Oh, it's the hardest thing I've ever done," or "Oh, no, it's not that bad." But give yourself an honest answer and thought on what it's been like, how it's affected you, and for me, for example, it might be, so far it's been, challenging, but it's been an awesome opportunity for me to embrace cooking and, feel better and sleep better and, perform better in my workouts in the process. So when you say it's been challenging or difficult, because I'm sure you will in some way, in comparison to what in life, right? Because we want to reframe, oh, it's the hardest thing ever, or, there's people that are facing far more dramatic life-threatening challenges than clean eating for 30 days. And having that perspective and keeping that perspective is something that should help us, stay moving forward and pushing forward. For example, I'm doing a 12-week transformation myself right now as I get ready for a physique slash bodybuilding competition, and I didn't want to work out the other day, but I still pushed myself to show up. I was doing squats, and I put weight on that wasn't even that heavy, and I did a couple reps, and I felt absolutely terrible. And as I went to put back all the weights, because I was just going to call it a day there, after my first set, the guy next to me I knew, and he dropped his headphones off and said, "How's your workout going, man?" I said, struggling to get through. He's like, "Yeah, I feel you. I just flew back from Hawaii, and I'm a little hungover still, but I'm still pushing through. And here this guy is lifting, three times as much weight as me." So that motivated me to kind of reframe my position and say, "All right, screw it. If this guy is hungover and jet lagged with no sleep, what's my excuse?" That's just a very basic example. I didn't have a great workout, but I still pushed through and completed it, and that's exactly the kind of mindset we need to have going into this. So, what have you learned? What has cutting out processed foods, alcohol, sugars, and grains taught you as an individual? What are our dependencies and/or addictions to those, sources? Be it socially, be it physically, emotionally, habitually. Think about the overabundance. And then now that your awareness of what is packaged in the foods and ingredients, what has that done for your, just how much you notice when you're shopping and looking at things? It's incredible how much soy and, processed fats are trans fats specifically are infused into foods. And if it's sugar free or, maybe it's not sugar free, all those other terms for sugar, the sucralose and all these other, like biomechanically processed. I don't know what the right word is, but all these sugar substitutes. There's like like 100, different forms of sugar. Think about all that's added into the foods that we once looked at as healthy, and how unhealthy were you before? That should be an interesting perspective now. So, what have you seen? How do your clothes fit? What probably shirts are going to change a little bit faster than the pants will, but pants might be a little more comfortable at this point. How does your skin look? Right, a lot of ladies that have struggled with super dry skin or different skin challenges. They always say that their complexions improved and things like that. And what other things have you seen? And did you take progress pictures? Selfies go a long way when we're on a focused journey like this because we actually get to compare the progress. So, what have you felt in this 14 plus days of your whole 30 journey? How have your energy levels been? what, did you still get the crash and the rise at different times of day? Do you get the midday slump? Have you broken your dependency on caffeine? Now that you're eating breakfast, is that changing how your day starts? What's been different for you? How's this affecting your mood? Because our mood is a lot of times pulled and steered by hormones, which are pulled and steered by when we're eating and what we're eating. So how is this affecting your mood, your day to day, without more stable blood sugar levels, less insulin being pumped into your system and produced? And then, of course, allergies, inflammation, chronic diseases. I'm not saying that this type of eating cures anything, but what I've found since I've coached members on doing this challenge for themselves is that typically, if they have some sort of chronic inflammation, that the swelling and inflammation is reduced. If they have allergies disappear if they're fully committed. Other chronic diseases have just become less bearing and intensive. But remember, old habits die hard. This is just, you're still only 14 or so days in, so don't call it quits here. It's easy to fall back into bad patterns, and that's why they say, that's part of the reason why I believe it's a 30-day process, because research has shown that it takes about 30 days to really instill and enforce a good habit that will stick. So be more conscious and aware of old patterns. So look for triggers, for bad habits. What causes you to feel like you want to eat something bad or drink something you shouldn't, even though you're consciously having the same conversation in your head, because I go through it too. And fight the resistance. Fight the resistance. Do not give in. Do this for yourself. But look for your triggers for bad habits and things like that. It's very interesting. Because even if you fold and break, which I hope you don't, you're going to find it to be a pretty interesting process as you see and understand yourself and what pushes you to lean towards the unhealthy choice versus staying the path, and replace the habit with something positive. Habits don't necessarily disappear as all the habitual research shows, but by replacing it with a healthier habit in its place, that can help us succeed. Recommit to yourself. At this point, this is exactly what you need to do. Few things about that. It does not get easier now, so don't get complacent. You need to get stronger continually. And just like when you're, going through a weightlifting program, that strength does not come from one workout. That strength does not come from 2 weeks. That strength does not come from 30 days. That strength comes from progression over a long period of time, where the weights continue to increase as you get stronger, but they're relatively matching your strength levels or challenging you to new ones. This is exactly what you need to do for yourself and your Whole30 journey. So keep the habits in practice. This goes hand in hand. That regular recommitment to yourself and progression. And find daily reminders for yourself. Put your before picture somewhere, you see them every day. Put your goals somewhere, you see them every day. Maybe journal your thoughts and feelings and everything in between every day, because that those repetitions in the weight room or outside of it go a long way in life, and us staying focused and committed to ourselves and whatever we're working towards. So going forward, what is your why? Well, what is your real driver? This is the most important thing I'm going to talk about today. So what got you started on this journey? And usually this is exact question process I take someone that's prospectively at my gym interested in a membership through, because I don't want it to be just about the cheapest option out there, because that's not what we're about, for example. But I want the services that we offer and the benefits we provide to match those of the woman that I meet with, that I help, to based on what they really want. So the first thing I always ask is, what got you started on this journey, or why are you doing it? And the example I'm going to give you is, someone says to lose 20 pounds. This is the exact thought process that could go through your head. What about that is so important to you? And the answer might be to feel better about myself, to fit into clothes better so I can feel better about myself, because I feel unhealthy and I feel like crap every day I wake up. or I feel unattractive and I don't feel like people look at me like, like I look at myself, or maybe vice versa. Maybe I don't look at myself like, the to the level that others look at me. And then why is that so important to you and such a priority in your life? For me, it might be I want to feel more attractive because after I lose the 20 pounds, I'll have the confidence to go out and put myself out there to meet someone really interesting that I can, spend some time with. And my challenge to you, this is something I did myself, and it's absolutely changed my life. Share your story. Go through that previous slide you see. Really dig deep into the questions, and find the answers within yourself as to why you're doing what you're doing and why that's important to you. What about that's important to you? What it's going to change for you. Go through the whole shebang as far as the thought process. And my challenge to you is to share it. Share that with the world, not just a closed group of friends. I just put myself out there completely and wholly. And this is when I say share your story. Take these same exact questions and answers and tell the world from the previous slide. And really get deep and honest with yourself and others. It's the only way to let go of your limiting beliefs and barriers. Because the thing is, I've seen a lot of people that have said, yeah, I want to lose 20 pounds because the doctor said I need to. And honestly, that's usually not the real motivating factor. If your doctor says you need to start exercising, and really that in itself is not going to motivate you. Having your son or daughter or grandchild come up to you and say, "Daddy, I learned," or Grandpa or Grandma, I learned about diabetes today. And I know you have diabetes, and I don't want you to die. That could be something that would probably motivate you a lot more than your doctor saying, "Oh, you need to start exercising on a regular basis." Right? Those are the deep emotional reasons, because in that situation, maybe you want to be there when your kids, you don't want to put a burden on your kids or your grandkids or something like that. That's the real deep reasons, and those will help us, break through our limiting beliefs that we can or can't do something, and also the barriers and blocks that we place upon ourselves. What I shared was a personal struggle that I went through where I gained over 20 pounds, and this was not through, just gradual things. It was a lot of self-sabotage, crash dieting, quick fixes, and it all stemmed from a really shitty year I had where, which I share in this video that you can actually watch at the bottom with this link. It's posted publicly on YouTube, first on Facebook, as you saw. And basically, I went through a year where I had opened the gym, just signed the lease, so I committed to 5 years of being here. And right as I went to open my doors, my girlfriend at the time of 3 years, we just celebrated our 3-year anniversary, had a great time, and then she told me she'd been cheating on me for the past year. And I didn't really have time to, obviously I ended it, but I really didn't have time to dwell on it and to think on it, because obviously the business had just started, and that required 40, 50, 60 hours of my time. So it had me nonstop moving. I didn't really have time to reflect and sit down and look at everything that put me through. So I let it just dwell in the back of my mind, and I kept it in. I didn't talk about it with friends really, and or especially how it made me feel. I was okay on the surface, and inside I was rotting away. And it was holding me back in all areas of my life. And by putting it out there and being honest and sharing that with people I know that I don't know, I'm free from it, and it doesn't hold me back anymore. It doesn't cause self-sabotage, and it helped me recommit myself to my being the better version of me, which has made me a better person. I feel better about myself. And that's, this could be the same thing for you, because it may not be, you were cheated on, so you feel vulnerable or embarrassed. Maybe, you were abused at some point, and that has always in the back of your mind been the reason you self-sabotage, to protect yourself by putting, that barrier, not allowing yourself to, be the most attractive and healthy human being you can be, as your defense mechanism for separating yourself from others, because you're afraid of that ever happening again at a very subconscious level. So this is my biggest challenge to you, and I encourage you to do it this week. Do the challenge, right? It will set you free from whatever is holding you back mentally and emotionally. If you put it out there, it's free, it's gone. And it will allow others to connect and support you on a higher level. When I put myself out there, I received not only like 80 to 100 comments from, friends, people I didn't think were friends, and other people that love me and, care about me. And that meant the world to me. That really fueled my positive fire, and it was all love. It was all, support. And more importantly, others had, as I shared my journey going forward after that with my progress pictures, my videos, just my posts, others started reaching out to me and saying, John, this is, you doing this has motivated me and encouraged me to change my life in a positive way. So thank you for that. And that's fulfillment right there, right? Because not only others are getting strength through my struggle, and that feels good because that makes me stronger, right? And that's why it's so important that you do this for yourself. And it will fuel your fire. This will help you recommit if you feel like you're getting, weaker as far as your commitment level goes, because motivation doesn't last, but neither does bathing, which is why we recommend it daily, right? And share over Facebook and put yourself out there. I know it's terrifying. I know. Just do it. Do it for yourself, and you will succeed. I can promise you. So that's it. Go ahead and get started on your week 3. I'm so excited for you.